Hi there. Could you please start by introducing yourself, your full name, where you're from, your age, and what you do?
Sure. My name is Ayan. I'm from Hyderabad, India. I'm 18. I just turned 18, and I'm a university student studying in Wollongong. I'm majoring in finance.
Oh, okay, in finance. Great. Let's dive into your background a bit. Can you tell me about Hyderabad?
Well, I mean, let's say like
Mm-hmm.
the thing most people would tell you about Hyderabad is it's the city of pearls.
Mm.
Because it used to be the capital of pearl and diamond trading back in the
Oh,
day.
okay.
Then I feel like that's kind of an outdated thing to say. You ask
Mm-hmm.
me, Hyderabad is like it is the perfect combination of various cultures, traditions. It is a vibrant city
Oh, okay.
with a rich history and I'd say large cultural diversity. Like, if you ask me, like, I don't want to shade or anything, but like, if you take like other Indian cities,
Mm.
you can see that they boast themselves as being good at IT or good at startups or something like that. But I feel like what Hyderabad is good at is people. You know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do you think people outside of India would describe your region?
So outside of India,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, Hyderabad is the land of people.
Mm.
Like, like the people here, they just there's a like there's huge cultural diversity. Yeah, like you turn the street and you see all kinds of people, like people from all different backgrounds, upbringings,
Mm.
religions, traditions, cultures. I'd say it's to make some comparison.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the Dubai, like in a cultural aspect, it's kind of like the Dubai in India, yeah? So where all different kinds of cultures meet together along with the local culture. So kind of
Mm.
like, it's kind of like a melting pot, which, it kind of breeds its own culture.
Right. Okay.
And along with that, obviously, uh, Hyderabad also has been like kind of leading a lot of like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like modern advancements, I could say, like in the field of IT, business and stuff. So
Mm.
it's not far behind it or anything.
Mm, okay, okay. Nice. If it's okay with you, could you please tell me about your cultural and ethnic background?
Oh, sure, I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like from my dad's side, I'm more from the city,
Mm-hmm.
and from my mom's side, I also have the rural village
Mm.
upbringing too.
Oh, okay.
So like to consider myself kind of fortunate because
Mm.
I have been brought up from both of these points of view, right?
Right.
So I feel like it gives me a much more kind of experience outlook on life,
Mm.
right?
Right.
I see this in daily life too. I feel like this kind of upbringing has helped me make like
Mm-hmm.
better judgment and stuff.
Mm.
Like yeah, it's been really beneficial for me. And about my family, like my family is has a very strong Islamic culture,
Oh, okay.
right? So growing up, we follow a lot of Islamic norms and traditions.
Mm.
And another thing about Hyderabad is, like I said, it's like a melting pot which breeds in new traditions and cultures, right?
Right.
So along with like the normal Islamic traditions, there are a lot of traditions which are kind of, I'd say, unique only to Hyderabad,
Oh,
which I'm pretty proud of.
wow. Okay.
And
So.
in Hyderabad, family is a pretty huge deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're always connected with your family. I like
Mm.
there should be a saying like you can't go like 10 blocks or like 10 streets away without finding someone from your family. It's wild.
Do you
You
personally
could,
experience that? Have you
dude,
found someone?
many times,
Oh,
many times.
wow.
Like I'll just be like in a supermarket or something, and then I'll just run into someone, like just someone random. Yeah, I don't know them. I just like
Right.
just make some. Oh, how are you? How's your day going? Blah blah blah. Yeah.
Right, right.
And then, like 5 minutes in the conversation, you'll find out that he's your grandpa's uncle's friend, something like. Yeah, it's like you wouldn't ever think of the combination, but
Wow.
then you find out you're related.
Mm-hmm. What sort of media do you consume that comes from your cultural background or the culture you identify with?
Oh, yeah. Being in India, obviously Bollywood is a huge deal in Hyderabad,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd say we have a pretty, like I'd say equally competent movie industry. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Tollywood. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've heard of it,
It's
yes,
it,
Tollywood.
yeah, Tollywood. It has to do with a lot of Telugu movies and production. It's
Mm-hmm.
also like it's on the rise. It has produced a lot of good movies. Not gonna
Mm-hmm.
lie. And then there's also a pretty strong indie movie scene. A lot of homegrown, home produced movies. Most of
Mm-hmm.
these like fall around like the comedy kind of genre because
Mm-hmm.
we have about these we do enjoy a good comedy movie.
So what about other than movies? Anything else?
Other than movies, I mean, yeah, we have you ever heard of a gazelle?
I have actually, but I don't really
Yes,
know much about it.
yeah. So it's kind of like these traditional poems which were written back in the day,
Oh,
and it's like these really complex poems. Yeah, like you read it and you don't understand it, but
oh, okay.
you pay attention and you read it like twice or thrice, and you see that it really has a simple meaning. It
Mm-hmm.
has simple meaning,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how do you see your culture? Is it something you strongly identify with?
I kind of lost. Oh, think I can hear you now.
Okay.
Sorry, I kind of lost you there for a second. I just had some
No
network
worries, no
issues. My
worries.
bad.
So I was asking, how do you see your culture? Is it something you strongly identify with?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like my culture is who I am. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't and I think I'm speaking about like all of the people of Hyderabad. Like you can't talk about them without talking about their culture. Yeah, it is a
Hmm.
huge part of their identity.
Hmm.
It is what makes them who they are. Like
Hmm.
uh, like we Hyderabadis, we are not afraid to
Mm-hmm.
like dampen our culture in front of like others. Like we like to express ourselves.
Hmm.
I say we're bold.
Right, right. Okay. What type of holidays or celebrations do you observe that, are related to your cultural heritage?
Uh, so as growing up in an Islamic family, Eid was a huge deal, right?
Right, right.
So we all actually look forward to Eid, get together.
Hmm.
The entire family gets together, has a feast,
Hmm.
good conversation. It's a whole vibe.
Right.
And then apart from Eid, in Hyderabad, especially Diwali and Dasera, these are two huge festivals. They're celebrated quite
Oh.
spectacularly.
Oh wow. Okay.
And Easter as well. Actually, I
Hmm.
have quite a lot of fond memories celebrating
Mm-hmm.
Easter.
Okay. Okay. How important are traditions in your family?
I mean, like I said, tradition is the base for the family. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like without tradition, it's kind of like the family lacks identity,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
It's what
Right.
makes us who we are. It's what gives us our uniqueness. That's it.
Right.
And especially like it like I mean, you obviously know what the generation gap is, right? Like with
Hmm.
the elders, yeah. So like tradition is it's kind of like it's the only language that that can penetrate through this generational gap. It
Right.
can connect the elders with the young. Yeah.
Okay. How significant is food and cuisine to your culture and traditions?
I mean for especially for Hyderabad, I mean it's a major part of our identity. Yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
let's be honest. Like when you hear Hyderabad, the first thing that comes to your head is food, right?
Right. Right.
Like the biryani, the halim, the nihari. It's like kind of iconic, right? It's like I say Hyderabad it's like the food capital of India.
Oh. Okay.
Like all the best food, you gotta come to Hyderabad. Yeah, it's not only
Mm-hmm.
about like having the best food. Food is like it is. I'd say it's kind of like a love language of the people.
Right. Right.
Like a lot of times people use food as a way to communicate. Like
Hmm.
a lot of people, like if they want to communicate that, oh, I'm sorry, or oh, I'm really proud of you or something. They're gonna do it by making your favorite food or something, right?
Right,
That's their
right,
way of saying of getting to you. It's kind of cute, honestly,
hmm,
right?
right.
And then the city itself, I feel like it's kind of designed around food. You
Oh,
can't go like you can't go 500 meters without finding like a chai stall
okay.
or like it's built around food, honestly.
Hmm. Well, that sounds very beautiful. So, would you walk me through what a typical day is like for you during one of these holidays?
Sure. I mean, yeah, let's take Eid as an example, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So on Eid, we wake up
Mm-hmm.
pretty early in the morning for ceremonial prayers.
Right.
After prayers are performed, we meet up with relatives and family friends. Usually, Eve is taken as a day off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we do get holidays over here, but sometimes in India, I don't know, the government and all, you kind of don't get holidays sometimes, yeah. But the people there don't really care about it. If it's Eid, they're gonna take a day off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We took the day off, visit our family, friends, exchange gifts, and
Mm-hmm.
have a good time. I feel like a lot of our celebrations, yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
might not have like a lot of outstanding points. Like we don't do anything grand or huge events or anything. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's more about it's more about like the sentimental meaning of
Mm.
meeting up with everyone and just
Mm-hmm.
having valuable time together.
Right, right. Sounds very beautiful. And do you have any memories of certain smells from your favorite foods or anything else specific around these days?
I mean, who doesn't, right? Like some event is happening, you obviously got to sneak into the kitchen and see what's cooking,
Yeah,
right?
of course, of course.
Yeah, the smell is, I mean, I never fails to disappoint, honestly. Like like let's say like in the holy month of Ramadan, yeah.
Right.
So a lot of people get kind of motivated to try out new things,
Hmm.
and people cook new dishes and host huge events like iftar
Right.
parties, suhoor parties, and whatnot, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Are there any media consuming habits like songs, movies, TV shows that are related to your childhood memories?
Yeah. Well, growing up, I remember watching a lot of Bollywood movies, like those classic movies
Oh,
with
okay.
my parents, right? And that was fun. And then we'd also watch like a lot of Telugu movies growing up.
Oh,
But
right.
then like gonna sound kind of weird, but I'm from Hyderabad. I don't really speak Telugu, yeah. So like especially when I was a kid, when I was like what 6, 7 years old, I could
Mm-hmm.
not understand a single thing they were saying.
Right.
So we'd go to the subtitles, but then even the subtitles would be a little too fast for me.
Hmm.
I just remember those movies as like pictures at this point.
Ah, okay, okay. That sounds like a very beautiful experience. How do you balance the religious and cultural aspects of these celebrations in your daily life?
I mean, in Hyderabad, culture and tradition takes on more significance than everything else. Like that is
Mm-hmm.
the topmost priority, right?
Oh,
Your
okay.
cultural obligation is the most important thing to you.
Oh.
So at a certain point, when you grow up around such an environment, it becomes second nature to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't think about like, oh, I gotta put on my best act, my guests are
Mm-hmm.
coming over, or anything,
Right.
right? The people of Hyderabad, it is in their nature to be, caring, to look after everyone.
Ah.
Like, you could go over to anyone's house and they'll be more than glad to have you over,
Hmm. Sounds really
right?
sweet.
It's almost like more than you. It's almost like they're having a good time.
Right, right. So does that take over work? Do people
Oh,
find work
definitely.
important?
Yeah. People take, like I said, people take off days even when,
Oh.
like, they might get their salary cut for the day, but it's fine. You gotta take an off day when you gotta take it, right?
Right, right, of course.
Like I know, like, uh, example, my uncle once he turned down a pretty high-paying job because
Uh-huh.
like that job didn't give him enough time for like
Uh-huh.
all like the Eid holidays or anything like that. So he
Oh.
didn't take it just
Oh,
because he
wow.
didn't get those holidays.
That's
I mean, that kind of shows how important it is to the people.
that is amazing. How do you feel in anticipating these rituals or looking forward to it?
Oh, I mean, yeah, weeks in advance. You just counting down the days,
Mm,
You're waiting for when it's Eid, when it's Dasera, when it's for what, yeah.
mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's
Right.
always like you're looking forward, like you always look forward to the next time you can reconnect with with the entire
Mm,
family again. It's amazing.
that's very cool. So, what are some challenges you have faced while adapting to a new culture?
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I don't like. I personally don't feel a lot of challenges, right?
Oh, okay.
Because growing up, like our family tradition and culture is like it takes forefront, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in that tradition and culture, what's also important is not only preserving our cultural identity,
Mm-hmm.
but also being accommodative to others.
Right, right.
Like, so from a very young age, I've been thought to be more accommodating to others, to give each other a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't live alone on this earth. Okay? You share this earth with like 8 billion other people. So
Right,
you
right.
gotta be, you gotta learn to live with everyone,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Very cool. Um, so before we conclude, I'd like to ask you a reflective question. Based on your experiences, what advice would you give someone who's moving to your home country or experiencing a new culture for the first time?
Like just have an open mind. Yeah, just be ready to accept whatever is happening. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
realize that all of those people don't have to accept you.
Mm-hmm.
You're the single person there. You're the
Right.
one who has to accept their culture,
Right.
right? You have to be a complete thing. Which I mean, don't take. I mean, I don't mean this in an offensive way, but then
Mm-hmm.
we as Indians can be pretty narrow-minded, right?
True.
You
True.
don't you don't feel like going all out of your way to
Mm-hmm.
find the common ground between you guys. So
Mm.
I'd say if you're really willing to explore a new culture, you got to be willing to take that first step to bridge the gap,
Absolutely.
to be accommodative. You got to be mindful, like
Mm-hmm.
what might be absolutely cool in your culture might be kind of insensitive in theirs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
So I recommend like, doing a little bit of research, like not like going all out and reading textbooks and whatever.
Mm.
That's insane, but like just having a basic idea of what the people are like, what the culture is like. Yeah.
Mm. Well said. Thank you once again for taking the time to share your experience with us. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Yeah, likewise, man. It's been a good time.